The flag of Greece, officially recognized by Greece as one of its national symbols, is based on 9 equal horizontal stripes of blue alternating with white. There is a blue canton in the upper hoist-side corner bearing a white cross. The cross symbolizes Eastern Orthodox Christianity, the established religion of the Greek people of Greece and Cyprus. According to popular tradition, the 9 stripes represent the 9 syllables of the phrase I micron I plus or minus I registered trademark I 1/2 I plus or minus I. The 5 blue stripes for the syllables I micron I plus or minus, and the 4 white stripes I registered trademark I 1/2 I plus or minus I. The 9 stripes are also said to represent the letters of the word freedom. There is also a different theory, that the 9 stripes symbolize the 9 Muses, the goddesses of art and civilization. The official flag ratio is 2:3. The blazon of the flag is azure, 4 bars argent. On a canton of the field a Greek cross throughout of the second. The shade of blue used in the flag has varied throughout its history, from light blue to dark blue, the latter being increasingly used since the late 1960s. The above patterns were officially adopted by the First National Assembly at Epidaurus on January 13, 1822. Blue and white have many interpretations, symbolizing the colors of the famed Greek sky and sea, traditional colors of Greek clothes in the islands and the mainland, etc. History of the Greek flag. The origins of today's national flag with its cross and stripe pattern are a matter of debate. Every part of it, including the blue and white colors, the cross, as well as the stripe arrangement, can be connected to very old historical elements. However, it is difficult to establish continuity, especially as there is no record of the exact reasoning behind its official adoption in early 1822. It has been suggested by some Greek historians that the current flag derived from an older design, the virtually identical flag of the powerful Cretan Kalligis family. This flag was based on their coat of arms, whose pattern is supposed to be derived from the standards of their claimed ancestor, Byzantine Emperor Nicephorus II Phocas. This pattern included 9 stripes of alternating blue and white, as well as a cross, assumed to be placed on the upper left. The stripe pattern of the Greek flag is visibly similar to that used in several other flags that have appeared over the centuries, most notably that of the British East India Company's pre-1707 flag or the flag of the United States of America. However, in such cases of flags derived from much older designs, it is very difficult to prove or trace original influences. Flags during antiquity and the Byzantine Empire. Flags as they are known today did not exist in antiquity. Instead, a variety of emblems and symbols were used to denote each state and were, for example, painted on the hoplite shields. The closest analogue to a modern flag were the vexillum-like banners used by ancient Greek armies, such as the so-called phoinikis, a cloth of deep red, suspended from the top of the staff or spear. It is not known to have carried any device or decoration though. The Byzantines, like the Romans before them, used a variety of flags and banners, primarily to denote different military units. These were generally square or rectangular, with a number of streamers attached. Most prominent among the early Byzantine flags was the labrum. In the surviving pictorial sources of the Middle and later Empire, primarily the illustrated Skylitzes Chronicle, the predominating colors are red and blue in horizontal stripes, with a cross often placed in the center of the flag. Other common symbols, prominently featuring on seals, were depictions of Christ, the Virgin Mary and saints, but these represent personal rather than family or state symbols. Western European-style heraldry was largely unknown until the last centuries of the empire. There is no mention of any state flag until the mid-14th century, when a Spanish atlas, the Conosa Seccionamiento de Todos los Reinos, depicts the flag of the Empire of Constantinople combining the red-on-white cross of St. George with the tetragrammic cross of the ruling house of the Palaiologoi, featuring the 4 beaters or pyrekphala on the flag quarters representing the imperial motto I plus or minus I florin I to the first II micron I plus or minus I florin I to the first II per mil I 1/2 I. plus or minus I florin I to the first II micron II per mil I 1/2 I plus or minus I florin I to the first II micron I 1/2 II per mil I 1/2. The tetragrammic cross flag, as it appears in quarters 2 and 3 in this design, is well documented. However, the exact westernized arrangement that includes the cross of St. George, appearing in the Spanish Atlas, is never depicted or described in any Greek source. In the same Spanish Atlas the plain tetragrammic cross flag is presented as the flag of Salonika, and the real Grecian Empire of the Greeks. Pseudo-Codinos records the use of the tetragrammic cross on the banner borne by imperial naval vessels, while the megas do displayed an image of the emperor on horseback. Ottoman period. During the Ottoman rule several unofficial flags were used by Greeks, usually employing the Byzantine double-headed eagle, the cross, depictions of saints and various mottos. The Christian Greek Sipahi cavalry employed by the Ottoman Sultan were allowed to use their own, clearly Christian flag, when within Epirus and the Peloponnese. It featured the classic blue cross on a white field with the picture of St. George slaying the dragon, and was used from 1431 until 1639, when this privilege was greatly limited by the Sultan. Similar flags were used by other local leaders. The closest to a Greek national flag during Ottoman rule was the so-called Gecko-Ottoman flag, a civil ensign Greek Orthodox merchants were allowed to fly on their ships, combining stripes with red and blue colors. After the Treaty of Kar 1/4 Apicavolt 1/4 K Kanika, Greek-owned merchant ships could also fly the Russian flag. During the uprising of 1769 the historic blue cross on white field was used again by key military leaders who used it all the way to the Revolution of 1821. It became the most popular revolution flag, and it was argued that it should become the national flag. The reverse arrangement, white cross on a blue field, also appeared as Greek flag during the uprisings. This design had been used earlier as well, as a local symbol, while Greek volunteers in Napoleon's army in Egypt in 1798 used a white cross on blue incorporated in the canton of the French flag. A military leader, Ioannis Stavros, used a flag with white cross on blue on his ship since 1800. The first flag featuring the design eventually adopted was created and hoisted in the Evangelistria Monastery in Skiathos in 1807. Several prominent military leaders had gathered there for consultation concerning an uprising, and they were sworn to this flag by the local bishop. Flags during the War of Independence. Prior and during the early days of the Greek War of Independence, a large variety of flags was designed, proposed and used by various Greek intellectuals in Western Europe, local leaders, chieftains and regional councils. Aside from the cross, many of these flags featured saints, a phoenix, mottos such as freedom or death, or the faces-like emblems of the Philiki Irua, the secret society that organized the uprising. Adoption of the flag, because the European monarchies, allied in the so-called Concert of Europe, were suspicious towards national or social revolutionary movements such as the Irua, the first Greek National Assembly, convening in January 1822, took steps to disassociate itself from the Irua's legacy and portray ancient Greece as a conventional, ordered nation-state. As such, not only were the regional councils abolished in favor of a central administration, but it was decided to abolish all revolutionary flags and adopt a universal national flag. The reasons why the particular arrangement was selected, instead of the more popular blue cross on a white field, remain unknown. On March 15, 1822, the Provisional Government, by Decree NR 540, laid down the exact pattern, white cross on blue for the land flag. 9 alternate colored stripes with the white cross on a blue field in the canton for the naval ensign. And blue with a blue cross on a white field in the canton for the civil ensign. On June 30, 1828, by decree of the Governor Ioannis Kapodistrias, the civil ensign was discontinued, and the cross and stripes naval ensign became the national ensign, worn by both naval and merchant ships. This design became immediately very popular with Greeks and in practice was often used simultaneously with the national flag. Historical evolution. After the establishment of the Kingdom of Greece in 1832, the new king, Otto, added the royal coat of arms in the center of the cross for military flags. Additionally, the ratios of the country's flags were set to 7:10 for the state flag and 18:25 for the state and naval ensign by a decree dated June 3, 1833. After Otto's abdication in 1862, the royal coat of arms was removed, only to be replaced by a simple royal crown in 1863 when the new king, George I, arrived in Greece. A square version of the land flag with St. George in the center was adopted on April 9, 1864 as the Army's colors. Similar arrangements were made for the royal flags, which featured the coat of arms of the House of Schleswig-Holstein-Sonderburg-Glarus-Königsberg on a square version of the national flag. The exact shape and usage of the flags was determined by royal decree on September 26, 1867. By a new royal decree, on May 31, 1914, the flag with the crown was adopted for use as a state flag by ministries, embassies and civil services, while the sea flag was allowed for use by private citizens. On March 25, 1924, with the establishment of the Second Hellenic Republic, the crowns were removed from all flags. On February 20, 1930, the national flag's proportions were established at a 2:3 ratio, with the arms of the cross being 1/5 of the flag's width. The land version of the national flag was to be used by ministries, embassies, and in general by all civil and military services, while the sea flag was to be used by naval and merchant vessels, consulates and private citizens. With the restoration of the monarchy by Georgios Kondili on October 10, 1935, the crown was restored on the flags. The crown was again removed by the military dictatorship in 1967, following the aborted counter-coup and subsequent self-exile of King Constantine II on December 13. The sea flag was established as the sole national flag in 1969, using a very dark shade of blue, and on August 18, 1970, the flag ratio was changed to 7:12. After the restoration of democracy in August 1974, the land flag was restored for a while until 1978. Theories regarding the blue and white colors. Several Greek researchers have attempted to establish a continuity of usage and significance of the blue and white colors throughout Greek history. Usages cited include the pattern of blue and white formations on the shield of Achilles, the connection of the colors with goddess Athena, Alexander the Great's army banners, blue and white flags supposedly used during Byzantine times, supposed coats of arms of imperial dynasties and noble families, uniforms, emperors' clothes, patriarchs' thrones etc. and, of course, cases of usage during the Ottoman rule. Current flag of Greece. In 1978 the sea flag was adopted as the sole national flag, with a 2:3 ratio. The flag is used on both land and sea as also the war and civil ensign, replacing all other designs surviving until that time. No other designs and badges can be shown on the flag. To date, no specification of the exact shade of the blue color of the flag has been issued. Consequently, in practice hues may vary from very light to very dark. The Greek Flag Day is on October 27. The old land flag is still flown at the old Parliament building in Athens, site of the National Historical Museum, and can still be seen displayed unofficially by private citizens. Protocol: the use of the Greek flag is regulated by Law 851. More specifically, the law states that, when displayed at the Presidential Palace, the Hellenic Parliament, the ministries, embassies and consulates of Greece, schools, military camps, and public and private ships as well as the Navy, the flag must fly from 8 a.m. until sunset, be displayed on a white mast topped with a white cross on top of a white sphere, not be torn or damaged in any way. If the flag is damaged, it should be burned in a respectful manner. The flag can be displayed by civilians on days specified by the Ministry of Internal Affairs, as well as in sporting events and other occasions of the sort. When displayed vertically, the canton must be on the left side of the flag from the point of view of the spectator. The flag should never be defaced by means of writing or superimposing any kind of image or symbol upon it, used to cover a statue. In that case, cloth in the national colors must be used, hung from windows or balconies without the use of a mast, used for commercial purposes, used as a logo for any corporation or organization, even at different proportions. When placed on top of a coffin, the canton must always be on the right of the person's head. Colors: the government has not specified exactly which shade of blue should be used for the flag, and as such flags with many varying shades exist. In the most recent legislation regarding the national flag, the colors mentioned are: because of the use of the word cyan, which can also mean blue in Greek, the exact shade of blue remains ambiguous. Although it implies the use of a light shade of blue, such as on the flag of the United Nations, the colors of the Greek flag tend to be darker, especially during the dictatorship and in recent years, with the exception of the years of the rule of King Otto, when a very light shade of blue was used. Consequently, the shade of blue is largely left to the flag makers to decide, as shown in the table below. Flag days. Law 851/1978 sets the general outline for when the specific days on which the flag should be raised. Raising the flag on national or local public holidays is mandatory for everyone, from 8 a.m. until sunset. For national holidays, this applies countrywide, but on local ones it only applies to those areas where the said holiday is being celebrated. Additionally, the flag may also be flown on days of national mourning, half-mast. The Minister of the Interior has the authority to proclaim flag days if they are not already proclaimed, and proclaiming regional flag days is vested with the elected head of each regional unit. Although November 17 is not an official national holiday, Presidential Decree 201/1998 states that respects are to be paid to the flag on that particular day. Military flags: Army and Air Force war flag. The war flag of the Army and the Air Force is of square shape, with a white cross on blue background. On the center of the cross the image of St. George is shown on Army war flags and the image of Archangel Michael is shown on Air Force war flags. In the Army war flags are normally carried by infantry, tank and special forces regiments and battalions, by the Avelpidon Military Academy, the Non-Commissioned Officers Academy and the Presidential Guard when in battle or in parade. However, flying a war flag in battle is unlikely with current warfare tactics. Naval and civil ensigns: the current naval and civil ensigns are identical to the national flag. The simple white cross on blue field pattern is also used as the Navy's jack and as the base pattern for naval rank flags. These flags are described in Chapter 21 of the Naval Regulations. A jack is also flown by larger vessels of the Hellenic Coast Guard. Units of naval or Coast Guard personnel in parade fly the war ensign in place of the war flag. Other uniformed services: in the past a war flag was assigned to the former semi-military Hellenic Gendarmerie, which was later merged with cities police to form the current Hellenic Police. The flag was similar to the Army war flag but showing St. Irene in place of St. George. Since the fire service and the Hellenic Police are considered civilian agencies, they are not assigned war flags. They use the national flag instead. Identical rules were applied to the former cities police. However, recently the Police Academy has been assigned a war flag, and they paraded with this flag on Independence Day, March 25, 2011. Flag of the head of state: throughout the history of Greece, various heads of state have used different flags. The designs differ according to the historical era they were used in and in accordance with the political scene in Greece at the time. The first flag to be used by a head of state of Greece was that of King Otto of Greece. The current design, the flag of the President of Greece, was adopted in 1975. Double-headed eagle. One of the most recognizable and beloved Greek symbols, the double-headed eagle, is not a part of the modern Greek flag or coat of arms. One suggested explanation is that, upon independence, an effort was made for political and international relations reasons to limit expressions implying efforts to recreate the Byzantine Empire. Yet another theory is that this symbol was only connected with a particular period of Greek history and a particular form of rule. More recent research has justified this view, connecting this symbol only to personal and dynastic emblems of Byzantine emperors. Greek scholars have attempted to establish links with ancient symbols. The eagle was a common design representing power in ancient city-states, while there was an implication of a dual eagle concept in the tale that Zeus left two eagles fly east and west from the ends of the world. eventually meeting in Delphi, thus proving it to be the center of the earth. However, there is virtually no doubt that its origin is a blend of Roman and Eastern influences. Indeed, the early Byzantine Empire inherited the Roman eagle as an imperial symbol. During his reign, Emperor Isaac I Comnenus modified it as double-headed, influenced by traditions about such a beast in his native Paphlagonia in Asia Minor. Many modifications followed in flag details, often combined with the cross. After the recapture of Constantinople by the Byzantine Greeks in 1261, 2 crowns were added representing a euro according to the most prevalent theory, a euro the newly recaptured capital and the intermediate capital of the Empire of Nicaea. There has been some confusion about the exact use of this symbol by the Byzantines. It is quite certain that it was a dynastic, and not a state symbol, and for this reason, the colors connected with it were clearly the colors of imperial power, that is, imperial purple and gold. After the fall of Constantinople to the Ottoman Empire nonetheless, the double-headed eagle remained a strong symbol of reference for the Greeks. Most characteristically, the Orthodox Church continues to use the double-headed eagle extensively as a decorative motif, and has also adopted a black eagle on yellow-gold background as its official flag. After the Ottoman conquest, however, this symbol also found its way to a new Constantinople, that is Moscow. Russia, deeply influenced by the Byzantine Empire, saw herself as its heir and adopted the double-headed eagle as its imperial symbol. It was also adopted by the Serbs, the Montenegrins, the Albanians and a number of Western rulers, most notably in Germany and Austria. See also, Greece, Hymn to Liberty, Byzantine heraldry, History of Greece, List of Greek flags, references. Additional references, Inouchakis, I, in I1/4 I plus or minus I plus or minus I1/4 I plus or minus I, Athens 1908. External links. Flags of Greece at Flags of the World, Presidency of the Hellenic Republic, State Symbols, the Flag, Historical Flags of Greece, article on the Greek flag from the website of the Hellenic Army, older article on the Greek flag from the website of the Hellenic Army, Greek flags during the Ottoman era, from the official website of Greek Presidential Guard, decrees specifying the design of the flag, regarding the naval and commercial flag of the kingdom, contains official drawings, regarding the naval and commercial flag, regarding the flags of the Kingdom of Greece and other distinctive ensigns, contains official drawings, regarding the flag of Greece and other distinctive ensigns, Law 48 regarding the national flag of Greece, the emblem of the Hellenic Republic, etc., Law 851 regarding the national flag, the war flags and the emblem of the President of the Republic, current.